Hello, everyone. I'm Osprey Stark along with Ken on WLDY AM and FM. In Heart of the North Conference boys action, the Ladysmith Lumberjacks take on the Cumberland Beavers as the Jacks are 4-0 on the season and Cumberland at 1-4. First of all, in our JV game tonight, Ladysmith defeated Cumberland 60-42. So the Junior Jacks are 5-0, 3-0 in the conference so far this season. Should be a good one here tonight. The Cumberland Beavers with just about everybody back from last year's squad, but injuries have really hurt the Cumberland Beavers. And we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. First of all, some games on Tuesday night. You know, the Ladysmith Lumberjacks had to come from behind 55-47, and Spooner down Chippewa Falls McDonald 83-35. So the standings going into tonight's game, Spooner on top there, 3-0. Ladysmith at 2-0. Hayward's at 2-1. Barron at 1-1. Cumberland 1-2. Northwestern 0-2. And Chetek at 0-3. In the Heart of the North games tonight, Barron is at Hayward. Chetek is at Northwestern. And one game tomorrow night, the Jacks are right back in action when they host Tomahawk here at the Ladysmith Gym. Once again, a 7:30 start for that one. Other ball games on Tuesday night, Park Falls defeated Ironwood, Michigan 56-55. Phillips defeated Flambeau 54-48. Prentice over Winter 64-58. Rice Lake over Medford 70-56. And Siren beat Frederick 47-31. Another boys basketball tonight. Cameron is at Flambeau, Birchwood at Minong, Gilman at Fall Creek, Altoona at Cornell, and Clayton is at Weyerhaeuser tonight. Some wrestling to tell you about quickly. Ladysmith is at Chetek tonight in conference play. Superior at Spooner, Flambeau at Shell Lake, Cameron at Bruce, Cadott at Gilman, and Barrett at Northwestern. That in high school wrestling for tonight. So a busy Thursday in sports, and we're nice to have you with us here on WLDY. Nice crowd on hand, and still room for you, so come on out and watch the Jacks take on Cumberland in the Heart of the North boys basketball action. For Cumberland, we talked about injuries. Boy, they lost maybe their best guard. He's only a sophomore, but he led the team and the conference in assists last year. James Curtis, he had a broken wrist against Northwestern on Friday night, so he is out for about a month or more. And of course, will not play. Also, Brandon Shire, who started last year for Cumberland and played very well, especially against the Jacks. He had 23 and 14 points in the two ball games. He is out with a knee injury and will not play tonight. And a few other players will not see action for Cumberland. In fact, they only have 8 really suited up for varsity play for tonight. Under head coach Bert Skinner, in his 5th year for the Cumberland Beavers. Last year they were 2-10, 5-16 overall, and a tough start for them so far. 1-2 in the conference, 1-4. Their only win was against Northwestern on Friday night at Cumberland, and they beat them by about 20 points or so at Cumberland. That's their only win so far. So tough chore here for Cumberland, and head coach Bert Skinner taking on the Jacks, and especially short-handed, losing a couple of your starters and good ball players. But boy, their big kid is back. Jamie Anderson, he was an all-conference player last year as a junior, 6'3". I think he's 6'4" on the program this year or so. But he's a big kid, and he's a tough boy inside, as we all know. We've seen him the past couple of years play for Cumberland, and he's going to be one to watch again here tonight for the Cumberland Beavers. And just looking at the stats quickly, he's averaging 18.5 points in 2 games in the conference so far. Keith Gay is leading the conference, 31.5 points a game. Jason Bungard is second at 25 a game. And then Jamie Anderson for Cumberland. Eric Peterson is 5th in the conference, averaging 15.5. And we'll get to some of those stats as we go along. But nice to have Ken Ollis with me here on a Thursday. Made the trip down. I suppose he took a day off tomorrow, huh?
Well, I did, yeah.
Well, you got all that. And I talked about injuries. It's too bad because I remember Curtis, a freshman last year, really played well. And he broke his wrist, so we will not see him tonight, but I'm sure we'll see him when we go to Cumberland later on in the season. Also, Brandon Shire, who played very well against us, who scored a lot of points, is out with a knee injury, and I don't know how long he's going to be out for the season. So it's too bad. Cumberland, we talked about it, they were supposed to be a tough team, and, you know.
I felt they were really the sleeper team in the conference this year. I think anybody who saw the North basketball last year knew that they had real good nucleus coming back. not some of the outstanding talent that some of the other teams have coming back, but I think if Cumberland would have stayed healthy and put it all together, that boy, they would have given a lot of teams some real fits in the conference this year. And anytime you lose 2 starters, it's going to hurt you. It really is, especially at the high school level.
And I was talking with Bert Skinner, their head coach, and, a team like Ladysmith's going to give them a problem because they run and gun, and they got guys coming off the bench, and they hustle all the time on the court, and he says his team probably won't keep up. He played a Turtle Lake squad Tuesday night, and he said they do the same thing. They run and gun, and they play tough defense, and we just couldn't keep up. And they lost to Turtle Lake 72-57, so that I'm sure a worry for him. He's only got 8 guys on the bench, or 8 on his varsity.
You know, we talked about basically the same thing, Bob, in that first ball game against Flambeau here.
First of all, for the visiting Cumberland Beavers under head coach Bert Skinner in his 5th year at Cumberland with a record of 1-2 in the conference and 1-4 overall. They will start off Daryl Sawyer, a 5'9" senior. Jamie Anderson, 6'3", a senior. Jason Horstman, 6'1", a senior. John Akers, 6'3", a senior. Dave Olson, 6'4", a junior. And once again, their head coach Bert Skinner. For Ladysmith, the same starting 5. Scott Everett, a 5'10" sophomore. Steve Bartag, a 6-foot senior. Scott Hutnick, 5'11" senior. Jason Bunkard, 6'1" senior. And Eric Peterson, 6'4", and a senior. Head coach Boris Larson in his 5th year. They are 2-0 in the conference, 4-0 on the season. And once again, the JV score tonight, Ladysmith over at Cumberland 60-42. The Junior Jacks are undefeated so far at 5-0, 3-0 in conference play.
And Coach Prince said the freshman won. I didn't get a score.
All right, freshman won. You didn't get a score. Well, how come?
I was busy trying to get this stuff ready for you.
If you get up here early enough, quit talking to everybody. Got to talk to everybody when you walk in the door.
Oh, don't see them that often.
Yeah.
Find me a job down here, then I'll be here on time.
Hey, I got too much on my mind. I can't find people's jobs.
Yeah.
I'm worried about mine.
I'll put something on your mind, buddy.
Jamie Anderson will jump it up with Jason Bunkard. The Jacks moving from left to right in their home uniforms. The purple jerseys and pants with the gold numerals and trim. Cumberland white jerseys and pants with the red numerals and trim. And we're set to go. The officials tonight, Larry Norrell and Glenn Folkman. Norrell will throw it up. And the tip is controlled by the Beavers. And we're underway in this Heart of the North Conference action. Daryl Sawyer with the basketball, guarded by Hutnick. The Jacks in a man-to-man defense. With it now is Akers, guarded by Bunkard. And trying to get a pass away, knocked away by Bunkard. Takes it away. Jacks bring it down. Nice bounce pass to Everett, coming in on the left. Big goes up, no, but a foul right away on the big hit, Jamie Anderson.
Well, and I'll tell you, Coach Skinner does not want to get him in foul trouble early in the ball game.
So the defense right away for the Jacks with the steal. And bring it down, and Scott Everett's at the free throw line to shoot 2. And the Jacks 63% at the free throw line this season. And Scott is 63 at the line for himself and makes the burst.
Let's check that percentage up a little bit now.
Well, they started off slow against Cadott Tuesday night, Kent. They were 7 out of 14 after 3, but then they shot 60 out of 20 in the fourth quarter, and that's how they won at Cadott. Scott makes them both, and it's 2-0. Ladysmith up, opening seconds of this ball game. Dave Olson bringing it up on the left side. Top of the key now to Sawyer, guarded by Hutnick. Akers working on the baseline, right side, back out now to Olson, trying to get a pass inside Anderson. Knocked away, and the Jacks hit it out last.
Could have been another turnover. Very, very easily.
Jacks averaged almost 20 points in the first quarter while giving up only 10.
Not bad.
Big hit Anderson working against Bartag, who's on him. Bartag, the best defensive players. Anderson, good. Nice jump shot.
Well, I'll tell you, Bartag was on him like a glove, too.
Free throw line extended on the left side, and he hit it about 15 feet out. Efforts to Peterson. We're tied at 2 in the opening minute. Peterson to Bartag. Looks like a 1-3-1 zone defense. Here's a ball knocked out of bounds by Akers. Taking a page out of Spooner. They like to play 1-3-1 zone defense.
Oh, yeah. First time really went against Ladysmith was... at Amory. Remember that?
Yeah. Nice pass inside of Peterson. Blew it off the glass, and the rebound at Cumberland. Nice pass inside by Bartag on the inbound pass. There's a foul, and it might be on Bartag. Or Efforts, one of the two. It's going to be on Bartag. I think trying to get through a screen in the corner. And the ball back out to Cumberland. First on Steve, and first team foul on the Jacks. Bob Fried-Sarek, Ken Olitz on WLDY AM and FM tonight. Nice to have you with us.
Yeah, 1-3-1 you're talking about, Bob. Very effective against the three-point shot if it's run right.
Anderson with the basketball, double team, right in the hands of Bartek. Jack playing down, Steve working on Anderson, goes right to the basket, laid it up, missed it. Rebound picked up by Cumberland. I think Bartek was looking for a foul. Well, threw it up there off balance.
Anderson picked up that one first quick one, boy. He didn't want to end up with two of them, so he kind of laid off on defense that time.
And here's Scott Hutnick tying up Jamie Anderson, and a jump ball, and the alternate possession rule goes to Ladysmith. Other games tonight, Barron and Mewood, and Chautauqua and Northwestern. Conference play, Spooner with the bye tonight. Hutnick to Bartek, off his hands, and this will be an over and back. Went into the backcourt.
You don't see that happen very often.
Tied at 2-2, 6:17 to play here in the first quarter. The Jacks averaging about 50% from the field, 32 at the three-point line. As I said, just about 63% at the free throw line. So far in their first four ball games. Here's a pass off the leg of Olsen. Gets it back now to Akers. Steal by Tom Hutnick, trying to go out on Sauer, and Sawyer commits the foul. So again, the Jack defense causing the turnovers. Still tied at 2, but Ladysmith with a basketball. Second team foul on the Beavers. Efforts.
Walk
to Bartek. The zone defense. Peterson deep in the corner. Back to Bartek. Working on Anderson. Drives to the lane. Dishes back off to Peterson. Saves it before going out of bounds. Back to Hutnick. Top of the key. Open his effort. He'll fire a three-pointer. And it's off the bracket. Buntgard high man. Tip ball. Peterson, yes. Oh, pretty play. Buntgard got high in the air and he tipped it to Peterson, who laid it in. Jacks up 4-2. Here's a steal by Hutnick. Gets it out now to Peterson. Pull up with the shot. Rolled it off. Rebound and a foul on Olsen over the back of Buntgard.
I'll tell you one thing I think Ladysmith's doing a lot better this year than they did last year. When they pass that ball around that three-point circle, they're trying to, they just really move that ball around well. Not as many cross-court passing this year as in the past.
Bartek from Peterson leaves it back down to Peterson. Baseline jumper off the bracket. Rebound Akers for Cumberland on the weak side. Leaves now for Sawyer. 5'9" senior. Starting in place of Curtis, who broke his wrist on Friday night. Good-looking sophomore this year, too. Led the team in assists on the conference. Here's Olsen, a shot. No, gets the tip, though. Put up and in. Kind of a garbage shot. Basket that time by Cumberland. But Olsen will take it, and we're tied at 4. Buntgard trying to get a pass knocked away. Peterson to Hutnick. Zone defense put up by the Beavers. Bartek with it. Back now to Peterson to Efforts. Inside of Buntgard. Nice pass to Peterson coming in. Oh, and he came up short. Nice pass.
Not enough oomph on it.
Yeah, just came up short off the rim. Olsen. Sawyer, top of the wheel. Guarded by Buntgard. Drives to the lane. Dishes back to Akers. Drives to the free throw line. Cut off there. Back to Sawyer. Fires a three-pointer. Yes, bingo. Sawyer for 3, and Cumberland's first lead at 7-4. Efforts. Gets it back to Buntgard. Peterson to Hutnick. He wanted the 3. Won't take it. Gets it back to Bartek. Jump pass inside Peterson. Efforts. Drives in on Olsen. Travel. He caught him that time.
In that case, in a ball movement, pretty good ball movement by Ladysmith. They passed up 2 good three-point shots. Hutnick let one go over there, and Efforts let one go down here.
Well, you haven't seen every game. 4 games, as I said, the Jacks won about 32%. Not bad, but the Jacks have not been shooting well from the three-point line. Here's a shot put up and good off the glass by Jason Horstman. First 2 for him, and he hasn't touched the ball that much, and it's 9-4 here. Cumberland on top. Bartek, he'll fire a three-pointer off the rim. Rebound, and Peterson over the back with the foul.
Well, last time down the court, Cumberland beat Ladysmith down the court. You don't see that very often either.
Cumberland up 9-4. They've scored 7 straight points. They're on the Jacks.
Jacks really not playing with intensity.
Olsen over to Akers. Back now to Anderson. He'll fire a three-pointer. That's short. Rebound Peterson on the weak side. A butt guard. Jack's playing it down. Stuck on 4 for a while here. 3.5 to go. Partag in the lane. Puts up the shot. No. Foul before the shot. He made it, but Sawyer with the foul, and that's his second. 4th team foul on the Beavers. Redwine and Will in for the Jacks. And Redwine, the 5'11 senior. John Will, 5'10 junior. And into the contest, Joe Olson off the bench. 5'11 sophomore for the Beavers. Efforts. Will. Back down to Efforts. Zone defense put up by the Beavers. Bundgar, top of the key. He'll fire a three-pointer. Off. No good. Rebound. Picked up by Anderson.
Well, he's halfway downtown with that one.
Quickly Olson working against Will. Akers, top of the key. Cross court now to Olson. Joe Olson, a sophomore, double team. And a ball picked up, and Anderson saves before going out of bounds. Dump pass inside to Horseman. Gets it back now to Anderson. Working on Partag. Pass to Olson. And this is Dave Olson, and a travel against Cumberland. Turnover will give it back to Ladysmith.
Kind of like Cumberland. I don't know if they set it up this way, but they had a double low post set up down there, and I don't think that was by intention.
9-4, Cumberland on top here in the first quarter. Redwine, who did a nice job coming off the bench at Kadat, along with Milutinovic for the Jacks on Tuesday. Here's Will, fires a long three-pointer, in and out, no good. Rebound, Redwine, and a jump ball stalled, and the ball back to Cumberland. Well, the ball in and out that time for Will. And the Beavers will throw it in. Full court pressure put on by the Jacks. Dave Olson, 2 Akers over the timeline, working on Bundgar. Double team. Bad pass, steal by Will. Now to Partag, and the Jacks bring it up. Stuck here on 4. Here's Redwine to Partag. Will to Efforts, working on the right side. Way out now to John Will. Back to Partag. Inside Efforts, nice shot. Good! Partag to Efforts, coming inside. Backdoor play, an easy 2 off the glass, 9-6. Akers, double team, down to Dave Olson, to John Olson, or Joe Olson, I should say. Started by Will. Akers, top of the key, got it by Bundgar, under 2 to play. Good defense by Redwine. Here's another steal. Bounce pass up toward the Redwine. Drives to the basket, lays it up. Good. 9-8. Jacks cut the lead to 1. 4 straight points for the Lumberjacks. Oh, it's traveling.
Got away with it.
In the lane. Horseman lays it up. Good. Almost a travel by the Beavers, but they come back with 2 by Horseman, and it's 11-8. Partag, top of the key, inside to Redwine. Efforts. Bundgar. Cross court now to Will. 1-3, won't take it. Back now to Partag. Inside, nice feed. Efforts. Oh, missed the shot. Rebound, Anderson. Scotty missed the easy 2. Anderson brings it down, the senior center for Cumberland. Behind the back dribble, working against Redwine now. Leads now for Dave Olson to Akers. Started by Bundgar, pass inside, lost it on the court, picked up by Efforts. Gets it out to Redwine, drives it on Anderson, lays it up and in. 11-10, the Jacks pull within 1. 45 seconds to go in the first quarter. Beavers with the basketball. Oh, and a travel here on Joe Olson.
Well, Beavers have done a good job of getting the ball up and across that 10-second strike. But once they get across there, they're having all kinds of problems.
Well, really, they're working the big guys, bringing it down. And then once they get in the forecourt, like you say, they give it to the guards. And they're kind of struggling right now. 11-10, Jacks bring it down, a chance to take the lead.
The only time they haven't struggled is when they beat Ladysmith back on defense.
Substitution for Cumberland will get to you. Here's Bundgar. What a pass, Partag.
Same play as the one to Efforts a couple minutes ago, Bob.
Boy, they're looking underneath the back door. Bundgar, nice assist by Partag. Anderson, Jacks with the lead, 12-11. With it is Martin LeBlanc, who's in there now in a foul, and I think it's on Will for the Jacks underneath.
Well, LeBlanc was surprised to get the ball in there. He was in the paint and had trouble hanging on, so it could have been whistle for 3, maybe could have been whistle for travel, but neither one was whistle.
Will's first, 13 foul on the Jacks. Horseman with it, outside the three-point line, leaves for Joe Olson. Cross court now to LeBlanc. There's a turnaround shot, good by Dave Olson. And that's the end of the first quarter. And the Cumberland Beavers lead it after one quarter, 13-12. Back with more, so stay tuned.
When the occasion calls for a special decorated cake, check with the Ladysmith IGA. Whether it's a wedding cake, birthday, anniversary, or special holiday event, the Ladysmith IGA can show you many different varieties of design. You'll make your event even more special with a decorated cake made by the Ladysmith IGA. Decorated cakes from the IGA are available in all sizes and for all age groups. Hometown America IGA.
Teamwork, practice, discipline. All traits of a successful team and the same traits you'll find at Pioneer National Bank of Ladysmith.
Off the bracket, rebound Anderson. High in the air for that one, a 6'3 senior. Quickly, LeBlanc. Checks with Bunkard, Will, Efforts, Bartag, and Peterson in there. And now he's got a 5-second call on LeBlanc, started by Bunkard. LeBlanc, Horseman, Anderson. Bill Forseth is in there for Cumberland. Forseth, a 6'2 junior. And also Joel Bartag with it for Ladysmith. 2 efforts. He'll fire a three-pointer. In and out, no good. Rebound to Forseth for Cumberland. Opening minutes here from Ladysmith and Heart of the North boys basketball action. LeBlanc working against Bunkard to Dave Olson, or Joe Olson, I should say. Turnaround shot is good by Anderson. He has 4. Back up by 3, 15-12. Jacks with the basketball. Bartag to Bunkard. Pass to Peterson. Hits it back to Efforts in the lane. Fake, gives it to Peterson. Baseline jumper, good. Well, they do move the ball nicely, I'll tell you that. Finding the open guy and Efforts with the assist that time. Here's the ball. He runs right over Peterson.
LeBlanc just was totally out of control.
Yeah.
He lost the dribble and did everything he could to try and regain it, and kind of lost his balance in the process.
Well, he's a junior, 5'10", Bunsen LeBlanc for Cumberland. Here's Bartag to Peterson on the bounce pass. Right wing now to Efforts. Cross court to Will. Left side, drives in nicely, laid it up and in. Got the baseline. He got around Horseman and laid it in. 16-15. The Jacks up by 1. A minute and a half gone here in this second quarter. Here's LeBlanc inside nicely to Forseth. Good. Nice pass from LeBlanc to Forseth for the 2. Efforts. The sophomore inside a Bunkard. Goes up. Lead it in and a foul.
Jack's really doing a good job of looking for the man in the paint right now. Either going down the middle like Bunkard did that time or coming back door.
And the foul, let's see, is on Forseth, and that's his first, and that's the 6th team foul on the Beavers. So after this, the Jacks will be at the free throw line. 6:16 to play in the quarter. Artisan Screen Printing in the Glen Floor Industrial Park features many wholesale price items. For a free catalog, call 322-5285. Bunkard at the free throw line, 64%. And he makes that one, and the Jacks up 19-17. LeBlanc quickly down court, trying to break the pressure of the Jacks. Cut off by Bunkard, pass underneath Forseth, in over Peterson, got it. And we're tied again at 19. 2 minutes gone in the second quarter. Bartag, bounce pass to Bunkard in the lane, back down to Will, he'll fire 3, good.
Well, he knows only time.
Well, they had a couple of snow cones in and out. But finally got it dropped through. 22-19, LeBlanc. And now foul on Will.
No. Kind of a tickle me.
Well, he might have tickled the wrong place and got called with the foul.
Obviously, that's what the official thought.
Anyway, 22-19, back in, let's see, Akers. Jamie Anderson. Bert Skinner's going to have to rotate. He only has 8 players tonight. Head coach for Cumberland.
And you know yourself, we were half a court away. We could see it much better than the official. Oh, threw it away.
Yeah. Dave Olson throws it out of bounds, and a turnover. Right back to Ladysmith. Bartag walks it up over the timeline. Right hand out to the left hand on the dribble to Peterson. Nice cut inside to Efforts. Good. Scott Efforts with 6. Jamie Anderson, the 6'3 center. Leaves now for Sawyer, who's back in there. Point guard to Akers. Way out on the right side on the wing. Back now to Sawyer outside the three-point line, and we've got a 3-second call on Cumberland.
I'll tell you one thing, if Cumberland cut down on their turnovers here, it'd be one whale of a ball game. They just have a heck of a lead.
Yeah, well, timeout is called here by the Beavers. Bert Skinner, the Jacks up by 5, 24-19. We'll be back with more after these words. And the Ladysmith News, the fine sponsor of Jack Basketball, and Hardee's of Ladysmith, open daily at 6 a.m. to start you off with a good breakfast. So the timeout taken by Cumberland, and the Jacks bring it up by 5, 24-19. Man-to-man defense put up now by Cumberland.
They traveled.
Fun guard working on the wing, looking for somebody inside. Started by Horseman. Cross court now to Efforts. Started by Anderson. Here's Bartag to Will to Peterson. Started by Olsen. Fun guard sets, fires a three-pointer. In and out, no good. Rolled off the rim. And Olsen there for the rebound for the Beavers to Sawyer. Gets a pick from Akers, and he'll go right to the basket and blocked, I think. No, he shot it, and it's, I was going to say, Bungard, I thought blocked the ball.
The ball went behind the backboard and hit the post coming down, metal post that holds the backboard up. So there's no way he's going to shoot it, and the ball's going to end up like that.
Yep. So Cumberland with it. Inbound pass. Anderson through his hands, picked up by Bungard. Jack waits for his teammates, trying to get a pass to Bartag off his hands and out of bounds.
Jack said we can throw it away too.
Kind of forced it that time, but Cumberland will get it back. 4.5 to play. Last year, the Jacks beat Cumberland twice at Cumberland, 72-63, and then here they beat them 104 to 64. Here's Horseman, turnaround shot, no good. Peterson with the rebound.
That game at Cumberland was a struggle last year.
Always is there. Yeah. Here's Bartag, lays it up, missed it. On a lead-in jumper in the lane, rebound by Dave Olsen.
I remember that was a nail-biter right down about 2 minutes, wasn't it?
Olsen looks tired. Boy, he's walking down the court, and he's rather slow. Here's Anderson in the free throw circle. He missed it, and Peterson with the rebound. Quickly, Bunkard, long pass up court to Will. Leaves for Bunkard, coming down. Now back to Scott Efforts. Has an open baseline jumper, and it's good. Yeah, some of the Cumberland boys look a little tired. Sawyer with it, top of the key.
Yeah, Coach Skinner get a couple guys in.
Puts up the shot. No rebound. Bunkard clears it for Ladysmith. The Jacks on the run. Quick pass up court now to Efforts. Inside to Peterson. Lost it, but Will saves it before going out of bounds to Bunkard. Leaves now for Peterson. Bartay.
They go so fast.
Will.
Oh, trio, I'll tell you.
I know. Bunkard. In the lane, leads for Peterson. He'll fire a three-pointer. Good! He doesn't shoot that box, but Rip City that time for Eric Peterson. Bottom of the net. 29-19. The Jacks build a 10-point lead.
You give me 5 feet, I'll take that shot.
Anderson. Inside to Olsen. Puts up the shot. Missed it. Rebound effort.
Wasn't even challenged on the shot.
Quickly now to Bunkard on the run. Drives to the basket. Laying it up and in. Went through 2 players. Jason Bunkard. 31-19. Double teamed. Olsen underneath his Horseman over Efforts. Laid it up and good. Jason Horseman with 4. Finally break the run here by the Jacks. Efforts. Inside Peterson over Olsen. Back to Bunkard. Fakes the three. Looking inside. Gets it back over now to Bartag. Baseline drives in the lane. Goes up with a shot hard off the glass. Missed it. Rebound Anderson. Kind of forced it that time. And Anderson will bring it up slowly over the timeline.
I think he thought he was really going to get hacked that time, Bob.
2:10 to play in the half. Jacks up by 10, 31-21. Akers. Started by Effort. Through Olsen's hands. Picked up by Will on the turnover. Back comes Ladysmith. Will, Efforts, baseline, right side. Inside of Bunkard. Trying to drive inside. Offensive foul on Jason Bunkard.
Yeah, he just put his head down and went that time.
Most of substitutions here for both teams coming in. Redwine and Craig Slater along with Mark Milutinovic. Milutinovic, 5'10" junior, really played a good ball game in the fourth quarter defensively. Fourth Jacks against Kadas. Slater in there, a 5'11" senior. Check out the other 3 for Cumberland. Let's see, Bill Forsett is back in. Munson LeBlanc. And a travel here on Anderson.
Wow, that didn't take long, did it?
Also Joe Olsen in there for Cumberland. I said Cumberland with 8 players. 31-21, the Jacks had a nice run here. Up by 10, under 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Milutinovic to Red Wine, outside the three-point line. On the left side, brings it back, top of the key, Milutinovic. To Red Wine, baseline, and he traveled with it. Turnover against the Jacks, minute 41 to play. Other games tonight, Cameron at Flambeau, Birchwood is at Minot, Gilman at Fall Creek, Altoona at Cornell, and Clayton is at Warehouses. Joe Olsen now to LeBlanc, started by Flater, goes to his left. Now Anderson almost lost it, retrieves, deep in the Coffin corner, left side, guarded by Milutinovic, gets it to Horseman, and Olsen travel with it. Joe Olsen for Cumberland. 31-21. Efforts working against Horseman. Drives by him, leads now for Peterson to Red Wine in the lane. Leads now for Milutinovic. One of the shot, won't take it. Gets it back to Efforts. Nice pass to Red Wine. Oh, and he came up short. Missed the rebound attempt, and Dan commits the foul.
Well, I thought Red Wine coming inside back door again, Bob. He had the easy layup, but
came up a little bit short.
Yeah.
A couple of times the Jacks have done that tonight. Ladysmith averaging 72 a game in the conference, giving up 60. Cumberland scoring 60 while giving up 61 in their three conference games. And here's Milutinovic on a foul. Starting a little bit too close, so that'll send Cumberland to the free throw line. Both teams over the limit. Strand and Kramer, certified public accountants, serving your professional accounting needs, and Ladysmith Federal Savings and Loan with deposits federally insured to $100,000 and backed by the full faith and credit of the U.S. government. Sponsors of Jacks basketball this season. Free throw is missed, tipped up by Horseman. No, but Red Wine with a rebound. Efforts with it for Ladysmith. Man-to-man defense by the Beavers. Peterson working against Horseman. Milutinovic pass inside to Red Wine over Anderson. Blocked by Anderson, I think. Slater has it back, drives in on Anderson, goes up. No, but a foul on Anderson.
Even if Anderson didn't touch it, we're going to call that all the time. He doesn't, of course, he doesn't think he touched it. He thought he had all ball.
Well, Craig Slater just went right at the big guy and had his shot blocked, and also a foul called on Anderson. His second. He'll go to the free throw line to shoot two.
Yeah, I'd take him out too at 41 seconds.
Slater, 75% free throw shooter, averaging 10 points coming off the bench for the Jacks. 41 seconds to go here in this first half. The Jacks up by 10, 31-21. Slater shooting two. First one is up and good. Hit the bracket, straight up and straight down through the hoop. And that one is a little bit long and picked up by Akers. Beavers trail by 11, 32-21. LeBlanc with the basketball, guarded by Parte. With the basketball to Olsen. Bounce pass to Horseman. Baseline. Gets it back to Akers. Started by Slater. Akers back to Horseman. Double team with 20 seconds to go in the quarter. Akers got by Slater. Drives in on Peterson. Shot good.
Nice touch. Nice touch.
Akers with his first two for the Beavers. 32-23 efforts for Ladysmith. Bounce pass inside Peterson. Turnaround shot. Good. Eric Peterson. Posting up for Seth, and he put it in. Here's LeBlanc, lets it fly at the horn, off the rim. And that's the end of the first period of basketball. A good second quarter by the Jacks. And they lead it 34-23 over the Cumberland Beavers in heart of the North Conference basketball action. Stay tuned, the first half scoring and other stats coming up after these words. Halftime at the Ladysmith High School gym in this Heart of the North Conference boys basketball game, and the Ladysmith Lumberjacks on top of Cumberland 34-23. Look at the stats and a review of the first half, which is brought to you by North Country Trophy of Ladysmith, your source for trophies, plaques, and awards. And first of all, checking out the scoring for the Cumberland Beavers, led by Darryl Sawyer. He has 5 points, 4 each for Jason Horseman, Jamie Anderson, Dave Olsen, and Phil Forsett. 2 for Joe Akers. They were 0 for 1 at the free throw line in the first half. Nobody with more than 2 fouls for the Beavers. For the Jacks, led by Eric Peterson with 9 points. Scott Efforts with 8, 7 for Jason Buckard. John Will with 5, Dan Redwine with 4, and Craig Slater with 1. And those 10 points coming off the bench for the Jacks. Ladysmith 4 out of 5 at the free throw line for 80%. The Jacks trailed after one, 13-12. Cumberland one time a 5-point lead, but came back to outscore the Beavers 22-10 in that second quarter and lead 34-23. Nobody with more than 2 fouls for the Jacks in that first half. Ladysmith won the JV game tonight 60-42. North Country Trophy at Ladysmith, a complete source for trophies, plaques, medals, certificates, and also nameplates and labels for engraved items or any trophy needs.
Supported by the Cumberland Beavers in the first half. Cumberland with 16 rebounds in the first half. Leading the way for them was David Olson with 6 rebounds, followed by Jamie Anderson with 5. For the Ladysmith Lumberjacks, only 7 rebounds in that first half of play, and leading the way there, Eric Peterson with 3. Turnover-wise, as really hurt Cumberland. Cumberland has a total of 18 turnovers in the first half, only 5 for Ladysmith in that first quarter. The Beavers with 10 turnovers, and Jacks with only with 2 in the second quarter. Ladysmith with 3 turnovers in case for Cumberland. Kind of a strange game in a way, Bob. I don't think Ladysmith playing with an awful lot of intensity, for one thing. Turnovers have killed Cumberland. Rebounds have kept Cumberland in the ball game. Cumberland has played a lot better than I thought they would.
I talked to Forrest Larson about, the early schedule. They played some kind of weak teams. They came out right away against Flambeau and beat them bad. And then, they had a struggle with Hayward, but played a good second half and won. They played up at Northwestern. They struggled up there on the road. It's always tough up there, but came back and win. And then at Cadott, they too did not play well and struggled. But maybe looking ahead, hopefully not, of course, to Barrett and Schooner, and maybe some other teams, Clark Falls, Phillips, knowing that tougher competition and thinking Cumberland and some of these teams, maybe they come out, take them a little bit lightly, and you still got to come out and play tough basketball. And I think the Jacks woke up in that second quarter, played a lot better, and lead by 11 points.
I think especially at the high school level, you play to the level of your competition. A lot of people will argue that point, but overall, I think that's the way it goes.
I think the Jacks, as we've seen, and I've seen first 5 ball games, they can turn it 3. The Beavers will have it as we switch ends. The Jacks moving from right to left now. For Ladysmith, Peterson, Hutnick, Partag, Bunkard, and Efforts. And here's the ball loose on the court, picked up by Efforts through the hands of Akers. They come out with Sawyer, Horstman, Dave Olson, and Jamie Anderson. Bunkard, top of the key. Jacks up by 11. Peterson. Free throw line extended on the right. 3-point line. Back to Partag. Now to Bunkard. Drives in on the left. Put up with the 5-footer. Good.
Nice touch.
Jason Bunkard with 9. 36-23. The biggest lead for the Jacks at 13. Opening minutes. Second quarter or second half. Here's Hutnick on a steal. Took it away from Anderson. Goes, lays it up and in. Scott Hutnick. His first 2. Full court pressure put on by the Jacks. They're up 38-23. Here's a shot by Anderson. No, Peterson with the rebound for the Jacks. Up court now, Partag drives by Sawyer, works it on Anderson, drives with the left hand and laid it in. Quick start by the Jacks, 6 points in less than a minute.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that is not the kind of start that Coach Skinner wants.
40-23, the Jacks up by 17. Back with more right after this.
The season to pick the finest.
6 straight points by the Jacks. Here's Akers. Jump shot from the baseline is good. John Akers with 4. 40-25. Ladysmith up. A minute 10 gone. Here's Everett. Drive. No, but he's passed by Olson. Dave Olson with his second first team foul on the Beavers, but Scott Efforts at the free throw line to shoot 2. He has 8 points. The first 2 by Steve Partag there before Cumberland's timeout here tonight. Well, I'm sure Forrest might want to try and get a nice lead here and rest his starters a little bit. They got to come right back tomorrow and take on a tough Tomahawk squad here at Ladysmith in a non-conference game. I'm not worried about conference play first, but sure like to have a little rest here before tomorrow night's game. First free throw was made by Scott, missed the second. 41-25. Jacks up by 16. Jamie Anderson working against Bartek behind the back dribble. Looking inside. Out to Sawyer, top of the key.
I wonder if Tomahawk's in action tonight. Do you know, Bob?
I'm not sure. I don't know if... I know they didn't play Tuesday night. Last game they played was Friday night. I know that. Here's a long outside shot by Sawyer at the front of the rim. Drake came right back to him. Blocked by Bunkard. Now to Akers. Over Bunkard. His shot no. Rebound tipped around. Loose picked up by Forston. Now Sawyer picks it up for Cumberland. So they'll reload. Anderson. Might have traveled. Now back to Akers. Open. Free throw line extended. 15 feet out. Missed. Rebound. Bunkard. Long pass up court to Peterson. From the football pass, cross court to Bartek, fakes in the air, goes up, no, but a foul on Olsen.
I don't know if Lumberjack Conference, if they play some Thursday night too or not.
I'm not sure. I know a couple of teams play like Park Falls and Phillips play, but they had non-conference games. Medford played. Park Falls beat Ironwood, Michigan by a point. Phillips beat Flambeau on Tuesday night, 54-48. Bartag will shoot two at the free throw line. And free throw is good. Jack's doing better at the free throw line here tonight. Averaging 63% coming into the game. And that one is in and out and loose in the court. Picked up by... and here's the ball loose. Hutnick takes it away. Bunkard drives on Horseman. Goes right around him and laid it off the rim. Lost it. Rebound. Picked up Sawyer. For the Beavers. Triple team gets it up now to Joe Olsen. Started by Hutnick. Boy, the Jacks just go after the defense. Here's Bunkard and Olsen with the foul reaching in. Boy, oh boy. Foul on Olsen. There are a few terms you can use, you know, like bees on honey, or others that I could use, but not on the air. But
and we talked about it on the Flambeau game. If you're on offense and you're not used to that pressure defense, there's absolutely nothing more frustrating.
I know, and they go at you all the time. I mean, 3-second call on the Jacks turns over, but they go after you all the time. I mean, not just here and there. I mean, it's the whole game. 42-25, the Jacks up. Anderson, nice dribble through the pressure, dishes off to Sawyer, blocked by Peterson out of bounds.
And it's not if you just have the ball either.
Jamie Anderson coming into the contest, 18-5 the game. Jason Bunkard, 25. Anderson with only 4 points tonight. Jason has 9 so far. Inbound pass Olsen, and off the hands of Sawyer, but chased down by Horseman, and then he traveled with the basketball. I think he thought it was going to be an over and back.
Could be.
But it's not the call. You can throw it back there. Even though it was touched, there wasn't any control of anybody. But Horseman thought it was going to be over and back, and he took a few steps. He just grabbed the ball. And
I'm surprised he didn't throw it.
From Bartag right to Peterson. He can't get it, and then he throws it away. And Luce picked up, and here's Olsen. Lost to the Bartag. Right back toward the Jack. Bartag tries with the left hand. Missed it. Rebound. Akers has it for Cumberland. Now to Sawyer. Up court to Olsen. Joe Olsen with it for the Beavers. To Sawyer. And a foul is behind the back by Peterson. That's his second. First team foul on the Jacks. And Cumberland will throw it in underneath their own basket. 4:55 to play here in this third quarter. Ladysmith up 42-25. Bob Tari, Ken Olds on WLDY, AM and FM. Heart of the North Conference boys basketball. Akers pass inside to the big kid Anderson. Lost it. Receives and puts it in. Jamie Anderson with 6. 42-27. The Jacks up. Efforts. Bounce pass inside. Peterson over Anderson. Came up short. Tried to get it back. Anderson took it away. For Beavers, and he'll bring it up himself. Right hand on the dribble. Almost lost it. Out on the court, and Bunkard, and then a foul on Anderson.
Anderson or Bunkard?
I think it should be Anderson.
I think it should too, but normally they don't. Yeah, they did.
And Jason slow in getting up. And a timeout's going to be called here by Bert Skinner. Not happy with the call, talking to the official. And a timeout on the court. We'll be back with more, so stay tuned.
Movies used to be
The Beavers and the Jacks with the basketball. Bunkard, Efforts, Bartag. Hutnick and Peterson in there. Bartek, man-to-man defense put up by the Beavers. Bungard working against Horseman. Here's a cutter, effort. Little 10-footer, rolls it off, and Anderson with another rebound. Leads now for Joe Olson. Working against effort, left hand on the dribble, crisscross now. Ball tipped away by Bungard. Bungard has it. Nice lead feed to Hutnick. Drive, lays it up and in. The defense by the Jacks converts points on the opposite end. 44-27. Sawyer working against effort. Lead feed to Anderson. Dump pass missed. The rebound Bungard for the Jacks. Bungard up court now to Peterson. Baseline, effort, left side, inside a Bartag. No, he was hacked. Cut it up and in. No foul, but he put it up and in anyway. Anderson working against Bartag behind the back dribble. Gets it back now to Sawyer. 46-27. The Jacks up by 19, 3:20 to play. Horseman here in the third quarter. Ball knocked away. Still loose. Horseman. Inside now to Olsen. A shot good. Joe Olsen off the bench with his first two, and it's 46-29. Effort. Long pass for Bungard in the fourth quarter on the wing. Leads down for Jason. Coming in on Horseman. Lead in with a shot short. Gets his back and laid it up and in. Good hustle by Jason Bungard. Missed the first time, reloaded, and put it back in off the glass. 48-29. Olsen. Jump pass. Knocked away by Bungard. Right back to Olsen. Anderson will fire a three-pointer. Off the rim. Rebound Bungard high in the air for the Jacks. Brings it up over the timeline. Leads the effort. Inside. Goes up with the left hand. Missed the shot. Rebound Anderson. And Akers will sit out along with Joe Olsen. Dave Olsen is back in along with Martin LeBlanc. Anderson, left hand on the dribble, quickly comes up. Play long for Horseman, guarded, double team. Sawyer, three-pointer, air ball.
He knew it as soon as he let it go.
Sawyer with the air ball and the ball back to Ladysmith.
Why did I do that? Why did I open myself to ridicule?
2:20 to play here in the third quarter, only 6 points for Cumberland. Here's a nice driving layup by Steve Bartek.
I don't know how he got through there because there wasn't any room.
7 for Steve, all here in the third quarter. Anderson bringing the ball up court, now to Olsen, leads for Horseman over Redwine, who's in there, came up short. Dan Redwine with the rebound at Bartek. Redwine, John Will also in there for the Jacks. Bartek, free throw circle, 2 efforts, open on the baseline, pull up by Footer, wrist it, came up short by Scott, and Horseman with the rebound for the Beavers. Leads now for LeBlanc. Slows it down, looking inside. Now in the dribble, started by Effort. Bounce pass, free throw circle to Horseman. Missed it, rebound Olsen, no. Blocked by Bungard, and they'll give it back to Cumberland. Cumberland officials, coaches were to foul on that one.
Well, we got about 3 or 4 fans right here in the middle that have been hollering for about the last 6 minutes on a couple of different plays.
Horseman gets it up now to Sawyer. Started by Will. Bounce pass inside. Here's the shot put up, blocked, I think, by Bungard. Knocking away by Anderson. Reverses, can't get it. Still has it. Trying to go back up. Put it up and in. Good job by Jamie Anderson. Good hustle by the senior. Bartek, free throw circle. Efforts. Cutter. Now Bungard takes. Bounce pass right in. Redwine too far for him, but not a foul. They'll give it back to Cumberland. Bartek will take a break. Mark Malukovic is in, and Peterson back in. Bungard and Bartek will sit down. A minute 10 to go in the third, and the Jacks up by 19, 50-31. LeBlanc to Sawyer, overled. Malukovic there on the steal, now to Will. Free throw line jump shot by John. Oh, and it rounded out of there. Tough shot tonight for John Will. LeBlanc, now to Sawyer, bounce pass. Free throw line extended here on the left side. Now back to LeBlanc, driving in from the right. Gets it over to Horseman. Turnaround 8-footer is good. Jason Horseman with 6, and it's 50-33. Malukovic with 40 seconds to go. Redwine. Pull up 15-footer off the bracket. Rebound to LeBlanc. He'll slow it down. Wait for his teammates. 30 seconds to go. Third quarter. Jacks up by 17. Still dribbling. LeBlanc and a push on Eric Peterson. Third personal on Eric and third team foul on the Jacks. Other games in the conference. conference tonight, Barron at Hayward and Tech is up at Northwestern tonight. These are the final conference games until after the holidays. LeBlanc. The dump pass inside to Olsen, and Milutinovic with the foul. Guarding a little bit too close. Mark with his second personal. Fourth team foul on the Jacks. 16 seconds to go, third quarter. Ladysmith up 50-33. Nice crowd on hand this Thursday night. Be right back here tomorrow night again with a Jack Schultz Tomahawk and non-conference play. Ball tipped away to Peterson off a red line right back to Eric. Now lead feed to Milutinovic with Will Milutinovic trying to go up with it, but knocked away by Cumberland. And the Jacks will have it back. With 9 seconds to go in the third quarter, Milutinovic will throw it in underneath his own basket, side left. Looking for somebody, trying to get a cutter, lost, knocked away, picked up by Peterson, missed the shot, rebound, and picked up Anderson with 4 seconds to go. Drives on Milutinovic, Anderson lets it fly, and it's going to be off. Ooh. And that's the end of the third quarter with a score. Ladysmith 50, and Cumberland 33. We'll be back with more. The fourth quarter coming up after these words.
The Lake Holcomb.
Fourth and final quarter, the Jacks up 50-33, outscored Cumberland 16-10 in that third quarter. Jacks led by Jason Bunkard with 11, and Jamie Anderson leads the Beavers with 8 through 3 quarters. The Jacks with the basketball to start this fourth and final period. And their, starting five is in there except Peterson on the bench, John Will in there. Bunkard, Bartag, Everson, Hunting in there. Here's Bartag in the lane, laid it up short. Rebound, picked up LeBlanc. Jacks missed a few bunnies so far tonight. Here's LeBlanc and a foul reaching in on Scott Hutnick. Scott picks up his first personal foul, 15th foul on the Jacks. 50-33 our score. 7:41 to play in the final period of action. Cumberland 44% from the field so far this season in conference play. At the free throw line, only 42% coming into tonight's game. Here's a nice drive to the basket. Olsen, no, but a foul. Bunkard or Effort? It's going to be on Bunkard. Jason with his second. Jacks playing 3 games in 4 nights. Played Tuesday night. Beat Cadott 81-70. Had off yesterday. Will practice and play tonight against Cumberland and tomorrow night against Tomahawk. Then they'll be off after the holidays. Olsen hits the free throw. He has 5. It's 50-34. The Jacks return to action on January 4th after tomorrow night. When they host Phillips. Second free throw assist, and Bunkard with the rebound. 50-34. Here's Bartag with it. Jacks up by 60. Nice pass inside of Effort. Puts up the shot. Good. 11 for Scott. Nice assist by Bartag. He's had a nice assist on his inside save. 52-34. Checking out the assist. Bartag averaging almost 6 assists. Here's a steal. Hutnick to Effort. Played it in. Another steal by the Jacks. 54-34. Up by 20 and off. Well, a foul is on Effort. Scott Effort with his second personal. And the Jacks are over the limit, so they'll go to the free throw line. They should. Yep, bonus situation for Cumberland. 6:49 to play in this ball game. Bob Trey-Sarek and Ken Olds on WLDY, AM and FM on this Thursday night. And at the free throw line goes Martin LeBlanc. Shooting 1-and-1, looking for his first point coming off the bench. And he hits it. Jacks looking for their 5th straight win. And let's see. Got to get everybody situated here on the free throw line.
Yeah, Dave Olsen almost pulled a fast one there on the line.
Effort then a tail well to Change places. There's the ball. Luke picked up and Will to Bartag on the missed free throw. Deep drive. Shot moving too hard off the glass. Anderson brings it down for the Beavers. The 6'3" center, Nisa LeBlanc. Trying to get a pass inside, knocked away. Will has it, trying to force it inside, but Will intercepted. Here's Bunkard, tries the baseline. Gets it back down to Bartag. Open to John Will, fires a three-pointer. Good by John. Well, we need him to, here's almost a steal by Bunkard, trying to hit effort. But Anderson brings it back now to Cumberland. Nice to see Will trying to find a shooting touch. Kind of struggled early going. Here's Bartag with a steal. Working on one-on-one with Horston behind the back. Right in effort. Picked up by LeBlanc. Now to Anderson. Drives to the basket. No! Got a foul on Will. John Will with his third personal foul. And I think we're going to get a timeout. Warren Larson not too happy about some of the play maybe here at Jackson last minute. Anyway, timeout on the court. We'll be back with more after these words. Team playing in the ball game, and Jamie Anderson on the free throw line. He'll shoot two. One guard effort. Milunovic in there along with Will for the Jacks. Anderson, LeBlanc, Akers, Dave Olson, and Jason Horseman in there for Cumberland. Anderson missed the first. He'll get a chance on the second. 57-35 on the score.
Interesting with that timeout, Bob. Coach Larson went right to Bartek talking to him and took him out.
Here's Milunovic. Project top of the key. Wheel it around to Will on the wing, right left side. Now to Edwards, top of the wheel, working against LeBlanc. Bunkard overloading the left side. Will outside the three-point line. Bunkard, top of the key. Back now to John Will. He'll fire another three, up short off the rim. And rebound to Olson. Took it away from Hutton. Olson, right hand on the dribble.
Ladysmith sure knows where that three-point line is.
LeBlanc, here's Anderson with a shot. Missed it. Rebound. Bunkard between two Cumberland Beavers and somebody over the back on it. I guess maybe they just knocked it out of bounds.
Yeah, he was kind of sandwiched, but no call.
Bunkard kind of limping a little bit. And he might come out. Bartay. Jason will sit down. Hopefully not too serious for Jason. Might have just hurt it a little bit anyway. We'll bring it down. Bartag back. 5:20 to play here in this ball game. Left-handed with double Bartag. To Will. Knocked away out of bounds by Anderson. They'll give it back to Ladysmith. My sponsor, the Flambeau Mining Company, salutes the athletes participating in tonight's game. Win or lose, all the athletes are champions. Behind them are family and friends and Flambeau Mining Company. Hutnick, top of the key, two efforts. Bartag in the lane, and I think an offensive foul on Steve Bartag. As he was cutting into the lane, he received a pass that hit somebody. And he got caught with a foul. The ball back to Cumberland. Anderson working against the pressure put on by Ladysmith. They'll press you all game. Man-to-man. Akers over Bartag. Shot good. John Akers with 6, and it's 57-38. The Jacks up by 19. And with the basketball, Bartag. Milunovic on the wing, guarded by Akers. Cumberland in a man-to-man defense. Back now to Bartag. Bunkard will come right back in, so that's good news. Milunovic, he wanted the three, gets by Akers, and lost the ball out of bounds.
Anderson's looking tired again out there. Feet are pretty heavy.
Yep. Akers will sit out, and Joe Olson will come in. Bunkard still with a limp, but he wants to go out there and play. Long pass up court, Anderson behind the back dribble, now between the legs. Squeeze senior. He's for Horton. Goes in on Bunkard, laid it off, instant rebound, and a foul is going to be called on Bunkard.
No, nobody touched him. When he came up with the ball brushed against the Lumberjack body. Nobody fouled him.
Third person on Jason Bunkard, and the free throw line will go Joe Olson to shoot 1-1. The opposition has been shooting 62% at the free throw line. Ladysmith Federal Savings and Loans deposits federally insured for $100,000 and backed by the full business credit of the U.S. government. Free throw is good. get a chance on the second. And Lambeau Pharmacy, they can't afford to be less than the best to evaluate pharmacy and consumer preferred by sponsors of Jam Basketball. The second one also good. He has 4, and it's 57-40, 4.5 to play here in this ball game. Here's Will drive. No, and a foul is going to be called on Joe Olson. Second on Olson, 15th foul on the Beavers. And let's see if Will be at the free throw line to shoot 2.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he'll shoot 2.
Is that what he's saying now?
4:20 to play, 57-40. The Jacks up by 17.
We got the Hatchets coming to town tomorrow night.
Yeah.
What color?
Hey, it's going to be a good ball game tomorrow night, folks.
They're royal blue and yellow, I think. They're gold, aren't they?
Yeah. Blue and yellow, blue and gold, yeah. Will hits the free throw. Nice game for John coming off the bench with 9 points. The chance on the second, and that one also good. 59-40, yeah, the Jacks squeaked one out at Tomahawk last year when the Hatchets missed a last-second shot. Jacks won by a point. Here's Hunting on the steal. Drives it on Sawyer, laid it up and in. Scott with 6 points, I think all on layups here tonight, 61-40.
Hey, they count.
And reach and foul, I believe, on Scott Edwards, and that's his third.
How'd you like that facility of theirs over there, Bob? You playing in the field house or whatever you call it?
At Tomahawk?
Yeah.
I wasn't in there.
Oh, you didn't go over it?
No, we picked it up from Tomahawk last year. I listened to it, but I didn't go over there.
Well, I think you should have went over to show your support.
Well, I did at the football game, but
okay.
we got brand new lights at the football game.
Yeah, that's what I hear, huh? Yeah, because they used to play Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. Hudson LeBlanc with the free throw. He's got 2 points. He's got a chance on the second. 61-41. The Jacks up by 20.
Seems like I heard that the money for those lights did not come, out of the school district. People in town raised the money for it.
Yeah, pretty sure. Horseman with the foul on Partey. Jason Horseman, that's only his first personal. I know the Jacks played there the first game of the football season and had a nice ceremony. Tomahawk did and introduced, I think, some business people, a lot of people who really supported or donated for the lights. Hutnick with the left hand on the dribble. Leaves now for Will. Inside to Effort. Blocks it. Gives it to Peterson. Saves it from going out of bounds to the jump ball. And it will be given out to Cumberland.
I've got relatives over in Tomahawk, you know that? I've got relatives over there, yeah. That's a nice town.
Yeah. LeBlanc. Now to Olsen, who's in there, to Sawyer. Throwing the basketball. Guarded by Hutnick. And a man defense by the Jazz. LeBlanc. Inside of Horseman, gets it out to Olsen, lays it off the glass, and good.
Nice ball movement by the Beavers that
good
time.
passing, yeah. Found the open man, Olsen, and easy too. Partag working against Horseman. Partag gets it out to Will. He'll fire a three-point shot off the rim. Rebound, Horseman. For the Beavers, 61-44. The Jacks with 3:20 to play here in this ball game. Anderson working against Partag. Sawyer. Guarded by Hutnick. Inside now, Horseman over Peterson. His shot no, and Will, but Olsen takes it away. Up good, and a foul on Hutnick. Scott Hutnick with the foul, and Olsen with a chance for a three-point play. Redwine will come in, replacing John Will. 3:03 to play here in this ball game. Sheldon Co-op Services in Sheldon, your Senate, Land O'Lakes dealer. And also Scott County Super Value in Ladysmith, open 7 days a week, beef free all your meat, produce, and grocery needs. That's saving. Olsen converts on a three-point play, 61-47. Jack leads at the 14 with the basketball, still 3 minutes to go. Partey for Ladysmith. And reach and foul here on Horseman.
Kind of a foolish foul.
Well, maybe the coach wants him to foul.
Oh, could be.
By 16 fouls, so after this, the Jacks will be at the free throw line as well. 2:49 to play here in the contest. Well, I guess, yeah, that is 7 now, so Steve Partey at the free throw line. 7 points all in the third quarter for Steve, averaging 12 points a game, 76% at the free throw line, and he misses that one, and rebound is Jamie Anderson.
Probably why he wants him to foul.
basketball. Jamie working against Bartag. To Olsen, drives on Redwine, and a foul on Redwine. Starting too close with the foul. So the Jacks converting a few fouls here in the last minute or two, sending Cumberland to the free throw line. And again, Joe Olsen will be there. And Cumberland converting here in the fourth quarter. 2:38 to play in it. Jacks up by 14. Free throw is good. Get a chance on the second.
They're making a nice little run here. Jackson has scored since the 4:10 mark.
Olsen makes it both. 9 points here in this fourth quarter. Bartag with the basketball working against Horsten, who has a big knee brace on his left knee, probably from football, and he reaches in and follows Bartag. Third personal on Horsten, and Steve again at the free throw line. Norco Windows of Hawkins working to build you a better window, and Flambeau Auto Expo. See them for a newer model used car or truck located on Highway 8 across from the library in Ladysmith. The Jacks missed another one. Bartag loose on the nobody wants the ball. And Anderson has it and brings it up with Long. Well, they could cut it to 10 here with a basket with 2:24 to play yet. Here's a shot put up and off the glass. Rebound, has it. That shot taken by Stoker. And Scott Efforts will bring it down. Left hand on the dribble to Bartag. And now they're going to try and waste some clock, I think, here. Bartag guarded by Horsten, and he commits another foul. Steve will try it again. He's missed 2 in a row. Back 3 in a row since the third quarter. 2:07 to play. Here, Olsen and Akers will come in, replacing Sawyer and Horsten. 61-49. The Jacks up.
That's one I'd call right now, every time he gets the ball.
Steve with 7 points. Free throw, and that one rolled around and in.
Not pretty, but it counts.
Yep. 62-49. Jacks finally get off at 61. And that one is good. 63-49, back to a 4-point lead for Ladysmith. And here's Redwine, another foul. Danny missed his third personal. And he'll come on in there. John Will replace Dan Redwine. 2:02 to play here in this ball game. 63-49, and John Olsen again on the free throw line. He's been there most of this quarter. Shooting 1 and 1. Free throw is good.
It's been a long 47 seconds.
It's a long 2:02.
Yeah, we're not going to get out of here until about 12:30.
Free throw is also good. 63-51, back to a 12-point lead with 2 minutes to go here in this ball game. Jacks up by 12. And another foul, this one on Olsen. Bartag will be on the free throw line.
Oh, Bartag dropped 2 more in, then I wouldn't call him anymore. He got the hot hand, but he hadn't earlier.
Find somebody else.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll shoot 1 and 1. Free throw is short. Rebound Anderson.
I'd still go after him.
Working against Bartag. Anderson almost lost it. Still with it. Top of the key now to LeBlanc. Working against Effort to Olsen. Drives inside Dave Olsen. Loses it. And Eric Peterson with a steal to Effort. Good job by the Jacks on the steal. Now Bartag to Eric Peterson. Almost LeBlanc almost got it. Yeah. Here's Will. Now back to Effort. A minute 30 to play in the ball game. Bartag to Eric Peterson. Back down to Hutnick. Eric Peterson. Started by Olsen. Back to Hutnick. Back to Bartag. And kicked out of bounds by Olsen. And they'll give it back to Ladysmith. A minute 20 to go. The Jacks up by 12. 63-51. Bartag to Everett. And a reaching foul on LeBlanc. Munson LeBlanc. His second. And Scott Efforts will be on the free throw line. Scott, a 63% free throw shooter. out. It fell off. Rebound Anderson. Jacks missing a few here in the fourth quarter. Luckily, they don't need them right now. Yeah, Olsen to Dave Olsen. Shot put up and in. Dave Olsen with the two. Scott Effort. And a foul. Going to be called on Joe Olsen. They're going to call intentional foul.
I didn't see it. Was it?
Well, I think the official is saying he threw out his leg and tried to trip him after he missed him, and that's the reason why it's an intentional foul that's actually Scott Effort will get 2 free throws, and the Jacks will get the basketball. With a minute 3 to go here in the game, and it was a 10-point lead. Effort's free throw is good. We'll get a chance on the second. And the Jacks will get the basketball. And that one is also off by Scott. It's 1 out of 2, 64-53. Ladysmith will have the basketball. Martag, Effort, Hutnick, Peterson, and Will in there. And the Jacks still have to work hard. Gets it up court now to Effort. Drives to the basket, lays it up and in.
Boy, you can see that one coming, couldn't you? We're right in line with it.
66-53, the quickness of Scott Effort with a 2. Anderson drives in, dishes it off, tipped away. Martag chases it down, gets by Sawyer. Martag still with the basketball, and he'll run the clock. 44 seconds to go, knocked away. Peterson lost it, and last touch by Ladysmith will give it to Ladysmith fans not happy about that one. Anyway, the Beavers with the basketball. Jacks up by 13. Anderson with it. Over to Akers. Fires the long three-pointer off the front of the rim. Rebound tipped away. Sawyer has it. Now Anderson, long shot off the rim. Rebound Eric Peterson. And reached it on Sawyer. And a timeout is going to be called here by Cumberland. 23 seconds to go. Timeout in the court. Back with more after these words.
The Ladysmith News Service.
66-53. The Ladysmith Lumberjacks on top of Cumberland with 23 seconds to go here in the ball game. Eric Peterson will be at the free throw line. 9 points for Eric, all in the first half. He hasn't scored here in the second half. Jason Horsfield will come in. And he's got to wait. To the next stoppage. Peterson's free throw is good. And now he can come in. 10 points for Eric tonight. 46 at the free throw line. 46% really struggled, but he made that one. And he'll get a chance on the second. Horsman in for Akers. 67-53. Chance on the second, and he makes it. 68-53, Anderson. Inbound pass. Rolls it back to Anderson. Jacks up by 15 with 15 seconds to go. Anderson. Then fires a three-pointer off rebound. Picked up loose. Martag has it. Triple team. Effort. Long pass to Peterson. Back now to Will. To Effort. And that's the end of the ball game. 68-53, the final score here tonight. And the Ladysmith Lumberjacks defeat the Cumberland Beavers. And the Jacks go to 5-0 and 3-0 in the conference. Cumberland drops to 1-3, 1-5 on the season. So the final here tonight, once again, Ladysmith 68, Cumberland 53, and Heart of the North boys basketball. Stay tuned. The Jack Flashback program is coming up. We'll check out all the scoring and other stats for you after these words here on WLD1.
Hard work.
Welcome back to the Ladysmith High School gym and the Jack Flashback program here tonight. In Heart of the North boys basketball, the Ladysmith Lumberjacks defeat the Cumberland Beavers 68-53, and the Jacks go to 5-0. 3-0 in the Heart of the North, and Cumberland drops to 1-3 and 1-5 in the season. Checking out the scoring, first of all, for the Cumberland Beavers. The Beavers were led by Joe Olsen, who came off the bench and scored 13 points, 11 of those in the fourth quarter, and he made 7 straight free throws in that quarter. The high man, Jamie Anderson, who had 9, the big 6'3" senior, came into the contest averaging 18.5 in the conference, held down to 9 tonight. 7 for Dave Olson, 6 for Jason Horstman, and John Akers, 5 for Darrell Sawyer, and 3 for Marzin LeBlanc. They were 12 out of 16 at the free throw line for 75%, 12 out of 15 in that fourth quarter to get them closer in the ball game and keep some fight in their team in that fourth quarter. The Jacks tonight were led by Scott Efforts, who had 16, a sophomore with 16 tonight, 7 in the fourth quarter. 11 then for Eric Peterson and Jason Bunkar. John Will with his best point performance of the season. 10 points for him off the bench. 9 for Steve Bartag. 6 for Scott Hutnick. 4 for Dan Redwine. And Craig Slater, 1 out of 2 at the free throw line for a point. The Jacks were 13 out of 21 for 61%. 7 out of 12 in that fourth quarter. So struggle in that final quarter. And let Cumberland fleet back into the ball game a little bit, but the Jacks still win it by 15, 68-53. Jacks trailed after one, 13-12, and had a big second quarter. Outscored the Beavers 22-10, led 34-23, led 50-33 at the end of 3, and then the final score 20-18. Cumberland outscored the Jacks in that final quarter, 20-18. But the Jacks win it 68-53. Our JVs score tonight. The Ladysmith JVs won it 60-42, and the freshmen won also tonight the most score that contest. Some other stats, Kip?
Take a look at rebounds. Cumberland just really did a job on the boards tonight, Bob. They had a total of 42 rebounds in the ball game compared to 18 for Ladysmith. Leading the way there, Jamie Anderson with 17 boards. He had 1 less rebound than the Ladysmith did for the entire ball game. 12 of those rebounds he had in the second half. David Olson chipping in with 8 for the Cumberland Beavers. Leading the way for Ladysmith with rebounds. Jason Bundard with 7. Eric Peterson with 5. Turnovers really hurt Cumberland tonight. Cumberland ended up with 34 turnovers for the evening. 14 turnovers for Ladysmith. Had Cumberland not had so many turnovers, it could have been a much closer ball game. But I'll tell you, they played well tonight. They played a lot better than I thought that they would, especially after hearing about the injuries that they've had to a couple of starters. They can hold their head high tonight.
Yeah, it was a tough ball game. The Jacks, I guess, struggled early. Cumberland came after the Jacks, but like you say, I think it's the physical part of the game for the Jacks that really hurt other teams. So they can run and go most of the ball game where other teams can, and it just keeps up. And the fatigue factor showed maybe even in the second quarter where the Jacks took a big lead and really built it up a little bit in the third quarter and kind of kept pace. Had its lead cut down a little bit in the fourth quarter, but still won by 15 and go to 5-0. So the Jacks, will try and get a good night's sleep and a little rest tomorrow and come right back here to the Ladysmith High School gym and take on the Tomahawk Hatchets in the non-conference game, the final game before the holiday break. And I hope to see many of you here that were here tonight come back and see a big crowd. And I think it's going to be a good ball game. Tomahawk, a good ball club in that Lumberjack Conference. It's a tough conference as well this year in boys basketball. And
Always is.
Yeah, and Tomahawk will come to town tomorrow night and take on the Jacks. As I said earlier during the broadcast, the Jacks sneaked one out over at Tomahawk last year, winning by a point as Tomahawk missed the final second shot. So I'm sure they'll be out for revenge and come after the Jacks, and we'll see what happens. So come on out tomorrow night. Pre-game at 7:05 tomorrow, and game time at 7:30 on both AM and FM.
Ooh, nice. Ooh, big time tomorrow night, huh?
No, we were. We were tonight, too.
We were tonight, too.
Yeah. You didn't know that?
That means you get double pay, doesn't it?
Well, maybe for you, but...
Gonna have to talk to the boss, huh? Okay.
Anyway, hope you'll join us again. We'll be here tomorrow night for boys basketball on a Friday night at home. Not too many of those here on Friday nights. I think about 3, maybe all.
Yeah, not many.
So thanks for joining us. Final score again, the Ladysmith Jacks over Cumberland 68-53 to final in boys basketball. For Ken Olaf, I'm Bob Freight. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you again tomorrow night.